so now we're gonna transition into just showing a few of the hognose snakes that y'all producing. Some of them y'all already mentioned earlier in the video, but I'm gonna put them on screen, and I just want y'all to kind of go through basically the history of how you got into the project and just kind of discuss the different genetics that are involved. So the
You
first
got good
one I'm gonna
pictures,
bring
right?
up. First one I'm gonna bring up is this permafrost from you, Mitch. So kind of
Where'd you
explain
get the
what
picture from?
got this from Facebook.
We're waiting for it to upload.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a nice one. It's not the best example, but yeah, no, I like that one.
All right. So what is a permafrost? What are the genes that are involved?
Permafrost is a triple visual, sable, caramel, hypo.
And how did you get into this project?
So I got into this project years ago. There was a guy named John Mickles.
John Nichols.
Yeah, that's what his name was. I'm sorry. Brain fart. John Mickles happened to start a bunch of projects when sables had first come out, and he bred a sable to a bunch of different things. A frost being one, albino being another, a snow being another one, and toffee, and pretty much went down the line. And I had just gotten into sables, and I was like, this guy was selling all his collection, and I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. These are genetically potential of a lot of different stuff. And John and I went ahead and purchased, I would say, a good part of his collection, being double hat everything, basically sable lavender, sable snow, sable toffee, and a bunch of different other double and triple heads. And that's how I got the original ones. And I was like, dude, this guy's crazy for selling all this potentially, new, cool new morphs. And so we purchased everything, and then I raised up these animals, and we bred them the triple head to triple head, and I think it was like 1 in 64, and we hit one, but we hit one after James Douglas, who produced the first one, and it was just a crazy looking animal. We didn't even know what it was. Even the frosts that were produced, we were like we didn't know what we had. We were just very mind blown at just like how weird these animals looked, and we were very confused for a little while at what we actually had because of all the genes that were at play. But that's how the permafrost had originally started. We had purchased somebody else's collection that, I don't know, for whatever reason, didn't see the potential in the future, and we were like, gladly, we'll take that. And yeah, that's how the oxide was produced, the permafrost, and toasted caramels as well, and was all through this gentleman's stuff. Um, and then we obviously broke off and went other directions as well. But that's how that came to be.
Okay. And so I'm about to post another snake, and this one is going to be for John. And this is a snake that I got off of your Instagram account that you produced this year. And it is the Super Arctic Sunburst. So
Okay, this project started a long time ago. This is a 5th generation animal. So I started albino Arctics back in the day and everything like that. So I have 2 wonderful female albino Arctics that I bred a sable conda to. And the sable conda was 100% het toffee as well. So that's what made the parents there. So I bred those together and made some normal appearing Arctic condas that were carrying the gene for albino, sable, and 50% het for toffee. So that's where these all came from. So then that was for the female side. I raised up females for there. I do have males as well, but I'm very big on outcrossing. I don't inbreed animals, don't do anything like that. I try to keep genes and lines as far apart from each other as they can, but still being able to finish out a project. So on the male side, I took a Sunburst male and bred it to a Bub's Daddy female, which is a Super Arctic Conda albino, to be able to make AAA's albino Arctic anacondas 100% at Sable. So that was the pairing that I did to make these, and I did well with them. I made Super Arctic Sunbursts. I made Super Arctic Conda Sunbursts. I made Super Arctic Sables, 100% het albino. Super Arctic Conda Sables, 100% het albino. Just a wide array of wonderful snakes with this one.
Okay. All right. And so the next snake will be for Mitch. And we talked about this earlier on the phone. And you mentioned it earlier. And it's going to be the Galaxy. So kind of explain what genes are in play here and how you got started with this project.
I'm looking at my phone. It's so slow. It's just like loading. Yeah. So like I told you earlier, that the pink pastel gene was just very undervalued, and a lot of people were undervaluing it because the original version had neurological issues. But it's such a gorgeous snake. I mean, a single gene one looks like a coral, purple haze. Some of these double visual animals, and it's one single gene. And I was like, I don't understand why something is so undervalued. I get the neurological issues, but that could be bred out. So I acquired my pink pastel collection from Johnny Black a long time ago, and I saw a lot of potential with this gene that everybody either really liked or didn't like, and it was like there was no gray area. So I quickly was like, well, there's no super Arctic pink pastel, and there's no Arctic stuff with pink pastel, and I decided to take that pink pastel Conda and breed it to some of my Arctic stuff, and he turned out to be 100% het albino, like regular albino. And so we had like an electric project, which was pretty cool. And I ended up producing the first one, I think, 2 years ago. And yeah, I was just very mind blown with the result, and very pleased that a lot of people really couldn't see past, what could be done with the animal, except stuck on the negative. But yeah, the Galaxy turned out to be really cool. I kind of wanted to go with the same theme as Jeff Jr. with the lavender Super Arctic, which is the Moonstone, and I was like, well, let's just keep it in space. And it's really different in person. That I could never really capture its true colors. It's pink and purple, and it was just like what would remind me of like a galaxy picture online if you looked up some space, like a galaxy in space or whatever. So I kind of went with that. But yeah, it was definitely a cool combination. We have more stuff to come with that. Our end game is the Sunset, which is the sable pastel pink, which we created 2 or 3 years ago. We plan to do them in Super Arctic, so stay tuned. We have some cool new stuff coming up, but it's gonna be a little bit.
All right, and so now I'm gonna bring up the last picture, and this one is gonna be for John, and this is the Super Arctic Mai Tai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool animal. So this project started quite a few years ago. I had that same male that I worked with Sunburst stuff, and I bred it to a Arctic toffee female. So when I bred the male to the female, I didn't know he was het toffee. He was possible het, low chance. So it was a sable conda that I bred to an Arctic toffee at that point, just to make double hets. And from there, the first hatchling to come out was a toffee belly. So I immediately knew that he was carrying the gene for toffee as well. And the last egg to hatch was a Arctic toffee conda, which would therefore be 100% het sable. So that's where my male came from for this project. Later on, down the road, I had made, with collaboration with Jeff Gale Wood, double het females and also another visual Arctic toffee conda het sable. So that's where this one came from. About 3 years ago, we made the female for this project. The male was made about 4 years ago, and this year it came to fruition. All females were. I have 2 females. One is an Arctic toffee conda het sable, and the other one is an Arctic conda double het. And I bred the male to both of them. And in the Arctic toffee conda, I got this one. Just a wonderful animal. We didn't know really that it was going to be purple like this. Jeff Gale Wood had a lot of insight on this as well, though, since he had made some super Arctic toffees that he said when they hatch have a purplish hue to them. But the sable came in and really delivered a really nice purple animal. So that's how this one came along.
Okay. Yeah, it's really interesting that it's purple. I wasn't sure if it kept that color as it started shedding out.
Yes, it has so far. So it's shed now. This will be its 3rd time. It's just been shed currently, so I can get you some updated pics of it. Probably within the next week or so. And it is just an amazing animal.
Even the Arctic toffees are purple with like a orangish background.
The Mai Tais?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Arctic Mai Tai. Sorry.
Yes.